And action! Okay, I hope this thing's recording me. This is a new camera my dad got me. It's a digital camera that shoots videos as well, but it does not have the red light in the front that I'm used to with VHS and Hi8 recorders. So I don't know if I'm being recorded right now. If I'm not, I'm going to feel like a real butthole. But I'm assuming that I pressed the right button and we're recording this. So I've been wanting to do videos for quite a long time, so getting this camera has been a big blessing for me, and I'm going to do videos about 1/6 scale stuff. I'm going to do videos about everyday stuff. I'm going to maybe get Dominic and Les and Jeremiah and Jeff, get those guys together because they're really funny, and we'll do some skits or something like that. But in the meantime, I want to do a bit of a serious video that has to do with this machine right here, which is a blood glucose meter. I'm a type 1 diabetic. I have been for 40 years. I was diagnosed at age 7 in the year 1975, a long time ago. So I've had this disease for a long time, which means that I can intuit, for the most part, what my blood sugar is based on symptoms. Symptoms of low blood sugar, hypoglycemia, or high blood sugar, hyperglycemia. And please remember that I'm talking about type 1 diabetes here. I'm a type 1 diabetic, so that's what I'm talking about. Some of this is applicable to people who are type 2 diabetics, pre-diabetics, gestational diabetics. So those people, please listen in as well. If you're a friend of someone who has one of those versions or iterations of diabetes, maybe share some of this with them. This is good for anyone who has diabetes, whatever the form is, because it gives you what your blood glucose number or level is. And this is represented in milligrams of sugar or glucose per deciliter of your blood or my blood. For those of you who are non-diabetics, let's talk about your blood sugar real quick. Non-diabetics out there, you're getting a fasting blood sugar done. Your physician wants to know what your fasting blood sugar is. You get a tube of blood drawn, take it to the lab, test it. I don't know what it would be because I haven't looked it up, but I would guess it'd be somewhere between 80 and 90 milligrams of sugar per deciliter of your blood. Now, with diabetics, we have a range, okay? That's called the normal range, or the average range, which is 75 milligrams of sugar per deciliter of blood to 115 milligrams of sugar per deciliter of blood. Okay, those numbers changed to 80 to 120 and then went back to 75 to 115. So use whatever range you want. Familiarize yourself with whatever range you want. They're different by 5 degrees or 5 points, so it's kind of minor when it comes to what the numbers actually represent. Another thing I like about this particular meter, which my insurance covers, which is the True Result, which is similar to the True Test meter, which comes from Rite Aid. I like this meter because it gives me a 7-day, a 14-day, and a 30-day average. I took photographs with this camera with my macro lens of my 7-day, 14-day, and 30-day average. I will post those below this video so you can see what they are. My A1C, which represents my 90-day average and my 3-month average, is currently 6.3, which is good. I'm proud of that. I'm blessed to have people around me. God bless to have good people in my life who, from an early age, have told me to not let this get me down, not let myself feel sorry for myself, not let myself feel defeated or overwhelmed, but to actually thrive in the face of having a disease that's incurable. So I've tried to do that, and all of you who are my friends have helped me along the way just by asking me how it's going. So with that, I want to say, if you have somebody out there who's a friend who has diabetes, whether it's one of the iterations, type 1, type 2, pre-diabetes, gestational diabetes, be a buddy to them. Ask them how their blood sugar's going. Ask them how they're doing. If you have diabetes, find somebody who's an advocate and, talk to them about that. Find yourself a good doctor, too. I have a great doctor, Kenneth Logan. He's over here at Ample Health in Chico, California. He's a diabetes specialist, so he's really, really good. I'm blessed to have him. If I didn't have him, if I had a general practitioner who just could kind of scratch the surface of type 1 diabetes, I would try to get him to do a referral to an endocrinologist, because endocrinologists are great at managing diabetes, or so I've heard. So think about that. Think about this meter. Think about your doctor. Think about your support system, who you have around you that can support you. You can be your buddy, your advocate. Almost said adversary, but your advocate. And use this, because even though I've had 40 years of experience with this disease, and even though I can intuit to a pretty good degree, whether I'm low blood sugar, hypoglycemia, or high blood sugar, hyperglycemia, I still am wrong from time to time, because there's so many different things that influence it besides the amount of food you eat, the amount of activity, the amount of insulin. It can be stuff like how much sleep you've had, whether you're stressed out about something, whether you're sick with something, virus, a bacterial thing. So, these things come in, and it makes managing it pretty dang hard sometimes. So having this thing around is absolutely awesome, absolutely crucial. Don't be afraid to use it. God bless you. Go out and get one. And go on to Diabetes Forecast. Look at they do an annual product test review of everything from blood sugar meters to continuous blood sugar meters to insulin pumps. Go on there and look to see if you can look it up in their archives. Find out what they think of the different blood sugar meters. Shop around. I like this one. It works as good as the high-end ones do, but it's half as expensive. My insurance likes this one too. So, go out there and do some shopping around. Do some diligence to see which one is good for you if you're diabetic. And God bless you. Take care of yourself, and don't let this disease get you down. And don't think you know what your numbers are and drop some insulin on what you think is a high blood sugar that might be a low blood sugar. Use this to make sure. I do that because guess what? Even after 40 years, I still get it wrong. I'm just that kind of guy, I sometimes assume a certain thing, and it's completely the opposite. I can think of a dozen examples over the last 10 years of where I thought I had a high blood sugar and I was about to drop some fast-acting insulin on it to drop it back down to that normal range. And lo and behold, my blood sugar was actually within the normal range, or even worse, was low. So had I dropped that insulin on top of that low blood sugar, or that normal blood sugar, I would have been humped, and that would have been terrible. It could have ended up in the ER. I haven't been in the hospital for diabetes, thank you God. So I want to stay out of the hospital. I want to stay in the non-hospital world, thriving and doing well, and this has helped me with that. So look below this video to see what my averages are. 6.3 on the A1C. Thank you for everyone who's helped me get to that number. Doctor, friends, family, God, I appreciate it. And if you're someone out there who has diabetes, find your advocate, find somebody who's a friend or a family member. Take a week. Take a day out of the week, take a day out of the month, go have coffee, sit down, talk about your diabetes, talk about your numbers, just so you can hear yourself talking about your numbers. Because sometimes when you're kind of teaching other people about your numbers and your disease, you're going to kind of find out some stuff about yourself. When you teach other people about something that you know about, you learn a little bit in the process as well. If you know someone who's a diabetic, invite them out for a cup of coffee. Ask them about this stuff. Don't be worried about that. We live in an online world now. We live in a world where people are afraid of offending each other. They're afraid of outraging somebody by saying the wrong thing. Come on, guys. Let's just get back to the real world. Let's get back to actually talking to each other. And when it comes to something like diabetes, it's best to have somebody ask you a question. And it's best to be able to have that advocacy on the part of a friend or a loved one or a family member. So keep up the good work, and God bless you. I love you. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it wasn't too boring. And now the difficult part, I have to get up from where I'm sitting and get to that camera and turn it off without looking like I'm getting up and going to the camera to turn it off. So I'm going to sneak over here. And I got my Star Wars shirt on. I just watched the new Star Wars movie a couple days ago. It was pretty good. So, all right.